And the time starts now. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Samuel here. I'm a former MIT PhD candidate in AI, two-time startup founder with one exit, and in the next 36 hours I'm going to show you live, well, in my time live, how I built an AI startup from scratch. Okay, hold on. Before you run away and say,
oh my god, watching MIT PhD candidate in AI build some fancy AI startup doesn't help me at all.
I promise you, come closer, I promise you, nothing that I will do in this video you can't learn in more than a couple of weeks. This ain't quantum computing. Let's start off by making some coffee to wake up. In this video, I want to start a real venture capital backed business. This is not about just starting some simple online business to generate a little bit of extra cash flow. No, Silicon Valley investors need to invest in startups that have the potential to become worth billions of dollars. I spent the past 3 weeks making and breaking different startup ideas with friends until I finally ended up with something that I feel comfortable enough to at least spend a weekend on. The goal for the next 36 hours is to, number one, build a working prototype to see if what I've imagined is even technologically possible. If it's not, well, back to the drawing board. But if it is, then I will try to design a Figma mockup of the platform so I can actually see what it looks like. Beautiful. As the last step, I'm going to create a pitch deck. And with this pitch deck, I will apply to get $50,000 in funding. It's not actually my idea. It's a merger of two ideas from two different friends. One of them is Niklas Steenfeld, who suggested making a tool that can recommend stock footage based on your YouTube video script. The other one was an idea from my friend Kevin, and he manages and runs YouTube channels professionally. He has like 30 employees to do that. This is how a script on YouTube looks like. I write these notes for my editor so he knows what kind of B-roll footage to add here and there. It's not very advanced. I would have to be very creative and takes a lot of time. This, on the other hand, is a search engine for movie clips. So here I can search, for example, for Red Ferrari, and it's going to show me all sorts of clips from real movies that have the scene showing a red Ferrari. What it can't really do is show you something with a little bit more context, because sometimes you don't want to just show a red Ferrari. You want to have a movie scene that is relevant to the context in some very abstract way. That's what I want to build now. And the best way to start doing this is by, you guessed this, going to the gym first. Yep, no excuses. Just because I'm doing a weekend challenge for building a new startup doesn't mean I get to skim my regularly scheduled Saturday morning gym session.
To help finance my future startup, I record myself while getting changed for the gym as a teaser for my OnlyFans account. Do I actually have an OnlyFans? Well, follow me on Instagram to find out. Building a startup should never get in the way of taking care of yourself. What's the point of having a hugely successful startup and a lot of money if your body is deteriorating?
Done with my workout, I've written precisely 0 lines of code, but I have a massive arm pump, which is arguably just as good. My biggest challenge will be figuring out how do I create a library that understands what is inside all the movies, because it has to see what actually happens in the scenes and not just read the text. Otherwise, it's gonna be a very bad recommender system. So what I'm gonna do over the next hour or so, I'll obviously have lunch, and I will read up on what kind of options I have in terms of vision models, in terms of large language models. I don't wanna overdo it and start writing code blindly without first understanding this. This is hot. Ow. Oh my God, this is painful. Does this count as a work injury? I'm actually disabled now. I can't type as quickly. People think construction work is dangerous.
I spent the next 1.5 hours reading about implementations of vision models for analyzing movie scenes.
I'm now 5 hours into the challenge. You can see the sun is setting early behind me. I figured out that using some fancy custom vision models just isn't really possible in such a short time span. So instead, I'm gonna cheat a little. I'm gonna use OpenAI's vision model, just send scenes or parts of the movie to OpenAI to analyze what is happening inside of the movie. Step number one is I need to break down a movie into scenes. I'm gonna try and find some Python library that can just intelligently do that. Fire up Jupyter Notebook. Okay, oh, thank God for GPT 4.01. Otherwise, I would have to code everything from scratch, which would take me more than 36 hours. I just found the perfect movie scene for this example. It's the Mad Max scene from Wolf of Wall Street. I watched this so many times, I bet you I can lip sync it. $30,000 in 1 month? Their business expenses, relax.
Jordy, look what you got here. Look at this.
$26,000 for one fucking dinner.
Okay, no, this is the explain.
And you ordered all the fucking sides.
$36,000 worth of sides.
What did these
That
sides
sounds
think
to
you
cure cancer.
Sides think you're cancer.
Oh my god, I love this movie. I need to stop. Focus, I actually need to code. Okay. Focus, Samuel. I'm trying to get GPT-4o1 to code all this for me. If there's one thing for you to take away from this video, it will be always ask an LLM at the beginning of a complex task to ask you for clarifying questions, as I've done down here. You want to make sure that it actually does what you want it to do, and once it has created a whole project, it's very hard to change things. Okay, so I responded to all the different questions that it had, including some that didn't even matter too much. Let's see what it cooks up. Wow, this thing is creating the whole project for me. Look at this go. It's insane. This would have taken me hours and hours at a time. Debugging. I'm failing at the most trivial thing. I can't even open a folder. For Christ's sake, what did I do wrong here? Oh, okay, whatever. Okay, it's running. What it did here is it took this movie scene that I just showed you and split it up into individual images. So every time the camera changes, this is a new image. Now, why do I want to do this? Because I can't feed a whole movie scene into OpenAI and ask it what's happening here, but I can feed these individual images in there, allowing me to effectively search through the movie. Now, the challenge will be getting this into OpenAI format. Oh, it actually does seem to work. So every individual image that I showed you before is sent to OpenAI GPT-4o, and it just essentially asks the question, what is happening in this scene, given the context and then the movie description, which I already gave it, so it understands kind of what is happening. And then I can search through this, for example, ask, is there a scene where Mad Max from Wolf of Wall Street is holding a piece of paper, or is there a scene with, I don't know, a line or whatever that is on the desk? It took me about half an hour to debug this, but here's the preliminary result. Here you can see a picture, which is essentially a snapshot in the movie, and a description created by a large language model describing kind of what happens in this scene. I think it gets it pretty good. It even knows who the actors are, so it recognizes them. This is incredible. It talks about a $26,000 dinner. This is incredible. So if I create a search database, I can actually find really detailed scenarios that are happening in a movie, as opposed to just asking for a red Ferrari in some movie. I had a $100 budget for this in OpenAI for this video. I still have $99 left. I should be looking at about $20 to $30 to process. Now, it's probably going to add up to a lot because there are like tens of thousands of movies out there. But I mean, hey, that's what venture capital is for. So now that I created a system that can analyze a movie scene by scene, I want to create a search system that is something where I can ask a question about a movie and it's going to respond with the right scene. For example, I want to ask for a scene where there's a mug with the Stratton Oakmont logo on it. I think that's what it is probably. As usual, I explain this to OpenAI and I add this little last sentence. Before doing this, ask me clarifying questions. Very important. Thought for 15 seconds. Budget constraints, yeah, $100. All right, I responded to all the questions and hopefully it now comes up with a perfect code that I can just copy paste into my notebook and voila, done. I'm just amazed with how far we've gotten with AI. Damn, look at it go. It's just doing everything. I'm fascinated. This is just mind-blowing. I love this. Boom. Okay, let's try this. Okay, now it's converting all of the text information that I generated into like a vector space. I don't really know what it means. You know, most of this stuff is not very difficult. I don't really understand half of what it does, but it works. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Let's try to search for something that happens in the movie. A scene from Wolf of Wall Street where Jordan Belfort is holding a piece of paper in his hand. Hit enter. Yes, look at this, look at this. It literally found a scene in the movie where he's holding a piece of paper. It actually found multiple ones. How beautiful is that? 6 hours and 34 minutes into the project, I have a working search engine. Now this only works for one movie scene, to be clear, but now I can scale this up. I scale this up to 2 movies, the full Wolf of Wall Street movie, as well as The Great Gatsby, and it's probably gonna take about 12 hours to process. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'll try to create a Figma mockup of this platform so I can actually visualize how this is supposed to look like once it's finished. Here we are, I just created an account. I wanna build a web app, I suppose. I don't think this is mobile friendly. And Okay, it was too cheap to buy a pro version. A platform for YouTubers. You can split up text, recommend B-roll. Let's try this. Well, that doesn't seem to be working. Maybe if I refresh it. Oh, there we go. I don't really know what the point is of this. That actually makes sense. I guess it splits it up, but here it makes movie recommendations. That's actually what I wanted it to do. Your Figma export quota is maxed out. Upgrade to... Oh, come on. I'm not gonna pay you money for this. I'm literally promoting your product. You should be paying me. Piece of garbage. There we go. Okay. Let's try to figure out how Figma works. I'm already lost. Okay, I genuinely have no idea how Figma works. I think I need to take out the big guns. Erin.
I'm on Tumblr.
Come on, do design stuff.
Come on. Do math.
No,
I will let you down once you finish designing.
I would like to be paid.
I'll give you $1.
My going rate is $100.
100? You're expensive. Come on, fix this. Look how ugly it is. Doesn't it bother you?
A little bit. I think
Yeah.
I'm too high.
Okay.
I can't actually see what.
Okay, I'll let you down. Oh, you're stuck. It's not going down. Look, I'm pressing it. Okay,
So high.
I'll take you down.
I'm actually stuck.
First page, input YouTube script. Second page is splits up the YouTube script into little chunks automatically. Third page, for each chunk, it recommends B-roll footage from a movie.
Chunks is not a pretty word. Sections.
Sections. We'll pretend later that I did all of this.
What? No, you can't.
With absolutely no help from a professional designer whatsoever, I managed to create this beautiful Figma mockup. Top of that, I came up with a name by just asking ChatGPT to generate 100 names. In the end, I picked Clip AI. Boom, mind blowing. Now keep in mind, this is fake, this doesn't actually work. But the idea here is that you can split the script, select a certain segment, it's going to suggest some B-roll clips from the movie. You can then go further and potentially even purchase these clips. I don't know if that's actually legal. We'll find out with a lawyer. And generate a whole movie from the segment. See, we just passed the 9-hour mark, so I'm gonna grab dinner and I'll read up a little bit more about pitch decks and how to create a powerful pitch deck, because that's what I'll be doing tomorrow, assuming my overnight movie processing actually works. Good morning, it is day 2 of this quest. We are at 22.5 hours. As you can tell, I'm ready to go to the gym. I have a friend coming in from Las Vegas to do leg day with me. Erin is making me pancakes. Thank you, by the way. And I'm gonna quickly check on what happened. So OpenAI's costs, if I refresh this, $93 down to $53. Well, that's perfect.
Next, I unsuccessfully tried to get sleepy Erin hyped up for leg day.
I just got back from some very heavy leg day and had lunch. Holy moly, that's heavy. We're already at 27 hours, so as you can tell, I kind of wasted a lot of time. I do struggle with productivity sometimes, but here we are. So, what comes next? Yeah, what does come next? Now I want to check with a real YouTube script if it can actually split it up and find corresponding B-roll. Okay, what do I do first? I'm gonna get coffee. I have this terrible habit that whenever I have too much stuff to do at once, I go and make a coffee instead of actually getting stuff done. It's good though. I just put the fake app on the big screen behind me, so whenever I look at it, I get reminded this is what I'm working towards. I don't know if it's gonna help me to focus better, but we'll see. The single necessary and sufficient condition for having a successful business is to, that's right, have a paying customer. In the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you're selling, as long as it makes money and doesn't get you into jail, it's a good business. So I spent some time thinking about how to best make money out of this and how to go to market. What I came up with is the following: basic license, pro license, that's kind of, typical SaaS subscription. But then I came up with the idea of, why don't we start selling licenses to usage rights? That way we could make a lot more money than just by charging someone on a monthly basis. And to make this really big, because keep in mind, a VC-backed startup needs to become a billion-dollar company eventually. I had the idea that you could turn this into full-blown production companies. So you give it one prompt, make a movie about XYZ. It actually spits out a full YouTube video with voiceovers, with music, with footage, with everything. And then we can make a lot of money through ad revenue. That's at least the idea. When I raised $3 million from my previous startup, Marveri, we spent ages creating the perfect pitch deck. I have another 8 hours left at most, so I have to be really quick. Luckily, about a week ago, I discovered this tool called beautiful.ai, and they kindly agreed to sponsor this video, even though I reached out just last moment. And they let you create pitch decks in a really powerful way. So let's try this. I can generate one with AI. Okay, this is really basic. That's way too little context to actually do something useful, but I'm really curious with what it comes up with. Oh wow, that actually looks pretty cool. I forgot to give it a name, so now it's called B-Roll Buddy, revolutionizing YouTube video production. I like this. Look at this, it came up with stock footage, the challenge, our solution. Earlier today I saw this meme about the dream team for a company. It's kind of funny, I wish I could put this into a pitch deck. Here's what I came up with. By the way, keep in mind I've already thought about this a lot, so I kind of knew what I would put into this presentation. Normally the creation of the presentation is your chance to actually think through a business model, how you're going to launch a company. First slide is really just this picture here. Then second slide, I just have a team member, which is myself in this case. I could add some more people, but let's keep it simple for now. Then you obviously want to solve for a problem and show that this is a real problem. Here I'm using Kevin, my friend's example, where he was struggling with a YouTube channel. This could kind of solve the problem for him by reducing production costs. The solution, well, you have to explain what you're gonna do. Why now is super important, because if somebody could have built the same thing 20 years ago, why haven't they? Probably because it's not really possible. And the roadmap, this is super important. In this case, I say that after 12 months, I want to have 4,000 users, I want to raise $5 million. And after 2 years, we want to expand to becoming a full-blown media company that creates their own content and monetizes this for ads. At this point, we would probably raise our Series A or maybe even more, we'll see. And there's the go-to-market, the business model, this is super important, but I'm going to skip over it. And lastly, there's the competitive landscape, just comparing Clip AI to the alternatives that are out there and just showing that we do something or a lot of things that the competitors currently don't do. I'm still blown away with the simplicity of beautiful.ai. Look at this, black background, change to light background. It automatically flips to fonts. If you want to try out Beautiful, free of charge, go to beautiful.ai and use my discount code SamuelBosch15 to get 15% off their annual pro subscription. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video, Beautiful. And now, the moment of truth. Does the platform actually work? Let's find out. So I had some issue where this crashed and I thought that I may have used up all the money, but I clearly haven't. We are still at $53. Let me actually try to run this once more. Maybe it was just a glitch. There we go. Okay, now it's running. So what it's doing right now, it's creating a RAG system. In plain English, remember I had all these different scenes from the movies and I had an LLM analyze them and describe what happens in that scene. So right now I'm converting that database into a vector database. I don't fully understand this, to be honest, but all it does really, it creates basically a dictionary where a large language model from OpenAI can look through that dictionary and find the right scenes to recommend in the right context. Keep in mind also, I have not written a single line of code here. I fixed some very minor things, but I really didn't need to know any coding besides knowing how to fix a directory. That's it. Oh shoot, this is actually gonna take 20 minutes. Okay, we'll be back shortly. Now time for an ad break. Do we have ads? I need to sell something. Follow me on Instagram for my OnlyFans. It's a very niche audience. People who like coding and dudes. Gay software engineers. I just took delivery of drone number 3 after I crashed the first one into the Google office, sank the second one. Both of this is shown in my last video. You're in good hands. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh shit, but in theory I should be able to bounce into stuff now. Okay, it didn't crash. Doesn't like that. Cool. Alright, it's done. 30 hours and 30 minutes into the job. This is finished processing, so now there's the moment of truth. I'm gonna use the YouTube script that was generated by ChatGPT, which is also the one that I have behind me in this example. And the platform should automatically create a YouTube video with some robot sounding B-roll voiceover. Let's see what the movie looks like. That already looks good. Jordan Belfort arriving on Wall
The
Street.
movie starts with Jordan Belfort, Leonardo DiCaprio, arriving at Wall Street on a bus for his first day as a young, eager stockbroker.
Okay, so that's definitely the right scene.
He lands a job at a prestigious Wall Street firm where his first mentor is Mark, Matthew McConaughey. But just as he's getting started, the firm collapses in the infamous Black Monday stock market crash. Determined to succeed,
Obviously, there's some fine-tuning needed. This is a very rough cut, and only works for Wolf of Wall Street, by the way. But if it works for one movie, it should be able to work for 100,000 movies as well, at least in my mind. So that's a good start. Okay, what you didn't see here is that I actually ran this a few minutes before I showed it to you, and there it generated a movie that was totally R-rated with some nude scenes, so I redid it, and luckily this time I did not include these scenes, so I guess we'll have to work on that still. While I was waiting for the code to finish running, I recorded the application videos for the NFX Fast competition. I hope to win the $50,000 so I don't actually have to go forward with my plans of creating an OnlyFans account. That was a joke, by the way. If you actually thought that I have an OnlyFans account, doubt yourself. And I'll probably spend the next 5 hours or so finishing this application. There's so much stuff I still need to fill out. I think it's kind of boring. I don't even want to show it on camera, but that's the idea at least. All right, that's it. I feel completely brain dead. I stopped the timer at 34 hours and 43 minutes. I submitted my application to NFX where I'll either get $50,000 or worst case some helpful advice, which is fine too. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this new video format, because if you do like it, I'll continue vlogging my journey of starting my next startup, this time in public, and maybe, just maybe, I'll even do some crowdfunding project where you can become my investors. We'll see about that. And with that, I have to pack my suitcase because I'm flying out to tomorrow morning where I'm gonna take possession of my new real estate. More about that in my next vlog. I wanna thank Beautiful for sponsoring this video, and I wanna thank you for watching it. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Take care.